was not lying.
Is this like that 10-second pause period where you have to be completely silent?
We've only done this probably, a dozen times now?
Yeah.
I think
we're talking through the whole...
And we're talking through the whole thing. And Brian's just like, can we get this going, please?
I'm trying to be pro.
Trying to be pro?
Yeah.
We'll never be pro.
Oh.
That's really disrespectful. And nice running backs, idiot.
You want to do more?
Okay, now start 10 seconds.
3-1.
Wait, now you're starting it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Inside the One. We are finally back. The 2018 football season is finally upon us. I hope you're recording this because you look worried right now. But we just had our draft last night. Besides a few minor connection issues, I would say it was a success. Would you guys agree?
That was a good one.
Another year, another good draft, I would say.
Exactly.
Minus the fact that we couldn't get the first 3 picks of the second round correct for Chris for whatever reason.
Yeah, rounds 2 through 3 lasted about 30 minutes.
Yep.
Which was not ideal.
But if you take out all the pauses from Chris's picks and then Devin being just a tad bit late, I think we would have been done in probably about an hour, which is, I think we finished in an hour last year. But
yeah, once we started hitting those issues, I was expecting us to finish after midnight, but once we hit the mid to later rounds, stuff started to pick up a little bit. And
we got pretty close.
Yeah, it was close, but nonetheless, we drafted our teams. Everything's good to go. We're set and ready for the Thursday night opener between the Falcons and Eagles. But I guess let's just start off this little draft recap. How are you guys feeling about your team? Don't have to go into too much detail, but how are you feeling about it?
I'm glad I went running back heavy at the beginning because that stretch of running backs was absolutely ridiculous.
You and everyone else.
Yeah.
So that was my game plan coming in, but I actually had to follow up with it when I saw everyone taking 2 to 3.
Yeah, absolutely have to. Because we had We had 3 receivers in the top 12, which is...
Yeah, that's nuts.
That's nuts. I mean, it's good because I feel like our draft is starting to, I don't want to use the word professional, but it's starting to become more like...
It feels like everyone's researching a little more and taking it more serious.
Yeah.
Getting a feel for what fantasy football is all about.
Yeah, there's no more quarterbacks getting drafted in the top 3. There's no... I don't know. I mean, tight ends sometimes can be okay in the top 2 rounds, but for the most part, it was all wide receivers and running backs in the first 2 rounds, which is how it should be usually.
Yeah.
It shocked me when Aaron Rodgers fell to me in the 5th. That's a huge difference to a couple years ago.
That's how it should be.
And we've never had that, ever.
Ever, no. It was shocking.
Aaron Rodgers usually goes about round 3 in our draft, but it changes here. And exception to Gronk, too, who I believe went round 3.
Yeah, Gronk was the 5th pick of round 3, which is right around where you should get him, I would say. Maybe. I mean, I think his ADP was low teens or early 20s. So, right in that area.
Now, do you guys think the draft flow this year was because we made the change to half PPR?
For me, planning, it definitely made a difference. I mean, say you have David Johnson to Zeke. David Johnson gets 50 more catches, that's 50 points in PPR, but it's only 25. And I feel like a half-point PPR, Zeke could make up that difference. So it made me look at things differently. Like I was considering Jordan Howard in the 2nd round. He was taken by Josh Durham, but if it was PPR, I wouldn't have considered that at all. It'd be a 3rd or 4th round pick.
That's true. There's a handful of guys that you kind of pull down your board a little farther just because they don't catch a lot of balls during the season.
Yeah. And look at touchdowns and yards a lot more with receivers, too.
it's closer to standard. It's that extra half does make a difference for people like Landry, Alvin Kamara, really any high volume receiver. T.Y. Hilton, I think, goes a lot earlier because you're in a PPR format. If not, it doesn't matter because he's a boomer bust guy.
Yeah, I think T.Y. Hilton, Julio Jones, all those guys.
Really, anybody that Dylan took.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Is probably someone you don't want to draft.
He's the co-commissioner. He didn't know we were doing half point. It's weird.
I wasn't kept in the loop. It's not my fault.
It happens. I don't know.
I think it creates a good balance, but you definitely value a little bit more of the touchdown dependent guys. Yeah, that's half what PPR.
So here's the question. Kind of going off of the changes we made in the offseason, were you surprised that no quarterbacks, because of the point change that we made, the slight buff to quarterback passing yards, were you surprised that they went so late?
I was, actually.
I expected there to be an increase in the number of quarterbacks that went a little bit higher.
Like, I expected to see, like, Aaron Rodgers round 3, Tom Brady round 4.
Yeah, I think, it was the first quarterback was me in the 5th, was Aaron Rodgers, and then Tom Brady was the 12th pick in the 5th, and then Deshaun Watson 6th. And in all drafts I did, mocks, all those guys were in 4th round. So to drop them in the 5th and 6th is an incredible value.
It's not a huge change in terms of points. It's 25 yards versus 20 yards for a point.
Mm-hmm.
Coming in, though, I did expect it to be different.
Yeah. So despite the buff, quarterbacks taking a slide down the boards.
They went higher last year than they did.
Smarter league. That's what I'm going to put it to. It has to be it.
We're getting smarter, which is unfortunate. We might have
final step
to the boot people.
Everyone's smart is probably not true of me because everyone's on the board right now. Everyone wants to. Everyone's on the board. Aaron Rodgers, DJ, I'm just kidding.
Well, he offered me DJ during the draft, so.
Yeah, I won't be surprised if there's already trade talks outside of us three going on right now.
Yeah. I'm going to follow what Tom does and wait for the later rounds. I've shot myself in the foot trading before the first week happened, but you just got to be patient. I think all these rosters are solid.
Yeah. It's a hard decision when it comes to trading because on one hand you want to get the guy before they go off because you see it coming, and on the other hand you want to wait to see what they do and not just shoot yourself in the foot.
Mm-hmm.
So
Kareem Hunt last year is a perfect example.
It's definitely better to go the safe route and just wait to see what they do, but in the slim chance it's also smart to get the guy before they go off.
Yeah.
It's all about value. Mm-hmm. I mean, if you get, like, for instance, last year with Kareem Hunt, if you catch him before he explodes, then you're going to get a steal. But then you feel like an idiot if you're the one that traded him. So,
thanks. I got him in the 4th round, and then it was also like Kyle had Todd Gurley in the 2nd or 3rd. Both those are great values. And I mean, he kept Gurley. I made a mistake of trading. So
you just can't predict it. I mean, there's anybody who, like week one, on Thursday night, Corey Clement could go out and score 8 touchdowns, and no one would see it coming because everybody's so focused on Jay Ajayi.
Yeah.
But if it happens, whoever drafted Corey Clement is going to be on cloud 9 and probably going to trade him off. But
Ajayi doesn't have a leg injury.
I think they were holding him out for a while, but he's good to go as far as week one's concerned. But yeah, he should be fine. I would imagine. I can't remember who drafted Corey Clement.
I think Jordan Young.
No, it was late. And spend all day looking for it.
Josh Durham. Oh, Jay Ajayi. I thought you were talking about Corey Clement.
Yeah. Both. Why not?
Yeah.
Any surprises out of the draft, you think, in terms of like where they went or if they didn't go, I guess?
We can start round 1 if you want. Leonard Fournette, 5th. I don't think it's a bad pick, but
that was definitely a surprise to me, taking him over Bell and Kamara.
I'm not high on Bell this year, so I'm fine with that. But over Barkley, Kamara, and even Hopkins or Gordon Hunt, I don't know. I think Fournette could drop down, but at the same time, I could see him having the rushing title this year. So
Good day. They're going to have to lean heavy on it with no receiving help, really. Well, no proven receiving help.
Yeah.
I guess running down the first round, it went pretty much how you would expect, maybe just not in the exact order. Gurley, Antonio Brown, Zeke, David Johnson. Fournette was the surprise at 5. Bell slipping to 6 was incredibly weird. Kamara, Saquon. You got Nuke Hopkins, Melvin Gordon at 10, Hunt at 11, and Beckham at 12.
Yeah, that's about how I envisioned the first round. Just in a jumbled order, like you said.
Pretty much the usual suspects.
Mm-hmm.
And then I guess we can talk about round 3 if you guys want to highlight it. At least that's my questionable pick of the draft.
The reach.
Should we all say it on 3?
We should.
1, 2, 3.
Jamal Williams.
Yeah.
Interesting pick. I don't know what happened. I didn't talk to Devin.
I did not.
I feel like it was just a reactionary thing.
He was hyped up last year to be a running back too. He's got Aaron Rodgers back. The first 2 weeks, it's all him. So I can understand that he wants him. And he had 23 picks in between his next pick. So if he really favors him, if you look at a lot of people under him, I mean, there's like Royce Freeman, Gronk, a couple people I would take. Not a lot of running backs that I would say 100% prefer over him, but to see Jamal there when you probably could have got him in the 5th round or maybe later.
I was thinking maybe like round 7 or 8.
Yeah.
Jamal Williams.
I think that I would have went like one of the receivers or Gronk and then followed up with the 4th, 5th term. Maybe taking him if you really liked him, but I don't think it's a terrible pick, but the value you could have gotten much later, I think.
They could have waited another round and still ended up with like Alfred Morris or any of the backs that were taken after him. Could have gotten a starter with Carlos Hyde or Deion Lewis, PPR guy.
This was at the beginning of round 3.
Yeah,
too.
at the very beginning. It was on the turn. So
the first 2 rounds we had only 8 receivers. So
so running backs were already really, really shallow at that point.
I think the more we think about it, I mean, you could have gotten later, but at the same time, we don't necessarily know that. So maybe he just was thinking.
He could have predicted the run, the run on the second tier guys.
Yeah.
But I don't know. If he wins the job, we'll look back at this. And,
I know. We're going to look like idiots.
Yep. But at least, name recognition alone, it seems like an interesting pick.
Yeah.
Say that much.
I was telling Bryan before we started the show, when Kyle accidentally blurted out his pick before Devin made his name Stephon Diggs, I was very tempted to say, take Stephon Diggs.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. I would have taken Diggs or even Tyreek Hill for wide receiver spot.
Yeah.
There, but not knowing, like, 2/3 of the first 2 rounds of running backs, it's safe to just grab one. That's what I did.
Yeah.
The 4th pick, I made sure I got another running back.
That's the only reason I took McCaffrey at the second pick in the second, is because I knew he wouldn't be there and I really wanted him, so you have to reach a little bit.
Yep.
It was only a few spots above where his ADP was.
Him.
But so if you know you're not going to get him, grab him while you can, because it's not going to be there by the time your pick comes back.
We can keep going through the rounds if you guys want. The only other notable thing in the first 3 rounds was I'm not high on LaShawn McCoy. I just don't like Buffalo's situation. Mm-hmm. I believe he's in a little bit of trouble. I don't know if that was settled or not outside off the field.
I think
it's still ongoing.
Yeah, I don't know if there's going to be any proof to that one. It feels a little fishy to me. But
I just feel like it's with no Tyrod Taylor there, who was a good game manager, no receiving. I just feel like LaShawn, he's injury prone. I feel like it's just not going to be a good season for him. He's going to get hurt, or he's going to be not producing because they're going to stack the box. It's a good value, but I think this is the year that we really see him drop off.
I believe he's 29 or 30 now. So he's at that point where he's got less tread on the tires. He's on a team that's going to be struggling. And I think I said maybe to both of you.
Is worse this season.
Yeah, the O-line's a little bit worse. Terrible quarterback. Let's just go ahead and throw that out. They announced Peterman was the starter today.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a good situation at all. I think I told both of you maybe, or maybe I told the group, but I wouldn't be surprised if this year LaShawn McCoy gets traded mid-year.
Yeah.
And ends up on a contender.
The Colts were talking about, it was just a small little bit of chatter. They were talking about Le'Veon Bell. And with that situation, no one knows what's going to happen. But someone else they can reach for is McCoy.
Yeah.
I think it'd be easier to target.
He could be this year's Ajayi for sure.
Yeah, so it's not a bad idea, but the only other thing that I can say about that is like the running backs after, I would have preferred a safer bet with Miller, especially with Foreman injured, and then Jay Ajayi he took in the fourth, so maybe he just thought, oh, I'm going to get Ajayi, so I might as well take McCoy and see what's there.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not high on McCoy this year. Not a terrible pick, but that was the only notable.
If he was there round 4, I would probably take him, just given how the board was falling with running backs already.
Yeah.
Got to get who's there.
I mean, it's a guaranteed starter. It's a guaranteed
Volume is going to be there.
300 touches minimum.
Yeah.
Assuming he's healthy.
And like you said, if he gets traded mid-year, which could very well happen, that would look like a good value for Jordan.
I think change the scenery and a better offense. Any team's better than that. So anything like that can help McCoy. But banking on that as my third pick would be tough.
Yeah, great. Nothing too notable, I guess, in round 4.
That's about what I expected.
Yeah, second tight end comes off the board. Travis Kelce, the 4th pick.
I guess you could say I expected Kelce to go round 3, but it's not a huge deal.
Yeah.
To see how things are going with all the running backs, though, once you saw that trend, it'd be hard to start with 2 running backs and tight end. A lot of teams would want to get that flash or that wide receiver.
Yeah.
So I think it's a really good value.
Yeah, probably
That's what the thought process was.
Your pick at 9 in the 4, Jarvis Landry. Solid value.
I felt like someone that gets a lot of catches with 3 running backs would be a good wide receiver 1, keep you safe.
Yep. Yeah, if you go running back heavy, you have to get a PPR guy as your wide receiver 1. It has to be. You can't go out and get Deshaun Jackson as your wide receiver 1 or somebody like that, or who doesn't catch a lot of balls.
Yeah.
Just because you're going to end up in a situation where you're going to have to deal those running backs to get some wide receiver help.
Yeah.
But
to finish that round, I really like it's going to be the hot and cold of this 4-5 turn. I really like Marvin Jones this year. He shows burst of just genius on the field with Matthew Stafford. There's Kenny Galladay coming up, and I really like him. But I think Marvin Jones is safe, a good pick. But then the Demaryius Thomas, I'm not high on him at all this year. I think that he's not going to have a good rapport with Casey Keenum. I think he's going to be a big body and make people cover him, but I just don't think he's going to produce this year.
Broncos really need Royce Freeman to take a lot of the pressure off the passing game.
And then Sutton coming in,
that was another reason why I was staying away from Demaryius Thomas.
Sutton's a beast.
Sanders looks good, and Keenum likes those slot guys, the guys that just get those quick.
It seems like he has more of a rapport with Sanders.
Exactly. So that one right there, Demaryius is a big household name, but I just think that,
it's one of those things, like, why take Demaryius Thomas round 4 when you can get Emmanuel Sanders round 6 or 7?
Yeah.
Totally agree.
Yeah.
Alfred Morris went off the board in the 5th. The news about Jerick McKinnon came out the day before the draft?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So pretty much vaulted him to the top of the list.
And he's played with Kyle Shanahan, it was like 1,600 yards rushing, and then 1,300 the following year. And that was the only 2 years he's played with them.
He's consistent.
Yeah. So I think that's a good flyer, but also I feel he's safe. He's strong. He's a good runner.
I thought it was a bit of a reach, just because they also had Matt Breida, who showed some promise last year.
Yeah. With
Morris and Breida, we don't know how that situation is going to play out.
I think
so. I would have waited at least a couple more rounds on those 2.
I think with ADPs, there are a lot of reaches in this draft. But
we had to, especially with running backs.
The way everyone was drafting, just being aggressive on certain things. When someone went QB, it went lots of QBs. When we went tight end, lots of tight ends. Running back heavy. So I feel like that was he likes Alfred Morris, and he wanted to make sure he gets him. Especially being at the 3rd pick. It's going to be a while until he gets another.
Yeah, and he had, up until that point, running from, what was that, the 3rd spot in the draft? He had Zeke, not too bad. Devontae Adams, solid. Mike Evans, so he had the 2 receivers. And then he got Golden Tate. So he needed that flex guy to plug in there. So if you look at it like that, it's not too bad. Morris in the flex on a team that isn't really sure what they're going to be doing.
Mm-hmm.
I'll take that. It's not too bad.
I think with running backs, there were some people that had to reach on because they went so early. Like for me, instance, in the 5th round, Carlos Hyde, I'll admit, I think I reached for him just because I feel like I was scraping the bottom of the barrel with running backs. I was choosing between, I believe, Rex Burkhead, Deion Lewis, and Carlos Hyde, and I went with Hyde because I felt like, in my opinion, he was the for sure starter.
Yeah,
Deion being the backup to Derrick Henry, and there's like 80 running backs in New England.
The thing that I can support your decision with is Deion Lewis is fighting with Henry. It's going to be whoever's playing better, but Hyde has it. As long as he plays well, he's going to have that spot.
Yeah, that's what another thing too. I was like, if he's healthy, that's Hyde's job.
You have to play week by week. You have to start the season on week 1, so you might as well be going for teams. Like I wanted the Saints defense because they play the Bucs without Winston. I didn't get it, but you're going to play week by week, and I think that Hyde right now is probably the smarter decision. I prefer Deion Lewis over the season, but I think for now, I think that was a bad pick.
Yeah. It's the same reason you take the Lions defense or you take the Titans defense in week 1. It's because they play the Jets and Dolphins. Like, you got to play the matchups.
Not everyone needs Khalil Mack, and that's why he did better.
Exactly. Here we go.
Just one of those things. It's a matter of preference. You can make an argument for either. But
I don't know. Hugh Jackson has said from the very beginning that his 2 starters at quarterback and running back were going to be the veterans. It was going to be Tyrod. It was going to be Carlos Hyde.
And that's another thing. Tyrod's running backs always produce.
Yeah.
And he's such a good quarterback. Maybe not fantasy-wise, but I really like the Cleveland's offense possibly this year.
If it was full point PPR, I definitely would have went Deion Lewis over Hyde. But I think Hyde's potential to get more touchdowns is greater than Deion Lewis.
And he's a talented back.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a bad pick.
Just stuck in some really bad situations in San Fran. He never really had the supporting cast to really showcase. So he had a couple of really standout games. Like I remember that it was either a Sunday night or a Monday night game he had against the Vikings where he had 3 touchdowns and 175 yards or something like that. Looked absolutely unstoppable, but that was, a very small sample size of what he did in San Francisco. It was, for the overwhelming majority, he wasn't too impressive. But
the last thing about him is he was in a kind of a depleted division. He's playing against Seattle, whose defense was declining, and switching over to this with the Steelers and everyone. I think that he's got more to prove. It's not going to be as easy of a road for him. And then being a 0-16 team, even if you are a better team, you still have that as that was us, So, but moving on, we already talked about Aaron Rodgers and the quarterbacks. Kerryon Johnson, I think.
And there's another example.
Yeah.
You could call it a reach, but then again, people kind of had to.
Yeah.
It's weird that Kerryon Johnson and Theo Riddick both went before LeGarrette Blount, I thought. But with the Lions, I feel like you have to play the upside when it comes to the running back group.
Yeah. I think Kerryon should have been the first Lions running back taken, but I think I would rather have Blount over Riddick.
Yeah, like we talked about earlier, the touchdowns and the yards are more important, I think. I think the people like Duke Johnson and Theo Riddick, the pass catchers that are not featured more so, and then Duke has 2 other running backs to work with. Being half-point PPR, I just feel like their values drop tremendously.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta get those touchdowns.
Let's not even talk about Josh Gordon.
We've been there. I don't know. He's back. He's practicing. We'll see how long he stays on the field.
3 Browns players went round 5.
Yeah.
That's right.
Then we had a little string of quarterbacks: Tom Brady, Watson, Newton within around 6 picks in a row. Drew Brees, Andrew Luck, Russell Wilson.
Dang.
Yeah, all finished out the 6 rounds.
Brian really started that quarterback run in that 5-6 range.
That was a good time, though. Those are all not bad values, honestly. There's a couple of them that might have fallen, like Luck or Wilson in the 7th, 8th round, possibly.
I wasn't really considering Cam in the 6th until you took Deshaun Watson. I was like, Cam's not going to be there 7th round. Now.
Everybody was grabbing tight ends and quarterbacks and trying to fill the spots from scraping the bottom of the wide receiver running back barrel.
The tight end streak went right after that. Jimmy Graham, Greg Olson, Trey Burton, Tony Walker, Rudolph, Ingram. They all went bottom 12th pick of the 6th through the 7th.
That's what happens when you have so many wide receivers and running backs at the top of the draft. Everybody,
basically, our draft kind of went how it should have. When you think about it, it was like wide receiver, running back heavy early, and then a run on tight ends and quarterbacks in the middle.
The runs on quarterback was more surprising. I thought that'd be more of the Aaron Rodgers, maybe Watson in the first 3 or 4 rounds, but like Russell Wilson, Brees, all that. I thought that'd start towards the end of the 6th and maybe going through like the 10th round. But the majority of the top quarterbacks were taken within the first 7 rounds.
Yeah, like you took Rodgers round 5, and then Josh took Brady at the end of round 5. I was like, okay, that's value. I expected that. And then Tom took Deshaun Watson. I was like, okay, I might need to take Cam here. But
anything in the 7th round or later that you guys are?
The one thing that's sticking out to me right now is Adrian Peterson in the 8th. That is, I don't know, one of the things I try to avoid are the big time committees, and Washington seems like just one of those cesspools of running back purgatory.
Yeah, and
really trying to flavor that one up, but I don't know. Peterson looked good in the preseason.
Yeah, the Redskins have had trouble rushing. Fat Rob is Fit Rob now. So if I was targeting a Redskins running back, it would have been Rob Kelly.
Man, if Geis was still there, that would have been the.
We were all high on him.
Yeah,
he would have been a 3rd round pick,
probably. Especially how this draft went. He would have went round 3 easily.
I was looking at him for sure. After that, I mean, you're seeing names that you just wouldn't expect, like Payne Barber, Crowder, Cohen, Peterson, Breida, all those guys in the 8th round. But the way the draft went, the hype behind some of these players, like Payne Barber, nothing unexpected. Anthony Miller in the 8th round, I expected him to be later, but I was high on.
The Bears.
Honestly, he's got 5 or 6 of them. So
that's all right. As is tradition, the first defense went in the 9th. Not too shocked, I guess. It's usually when people start taking them. Wasn't too surprised that it was Jacksonville. They obviously the number 1 defense. I feel like. Then you start getting into a couple of guys that are interesting, like Geronimo Allison was an interesting pick. I like him. Alan Hearns in the 11th is pretty interesting. My favorite pick of the 11th was probably DJ Moore.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah, I was surprised he was there.
Because I was actually going to take him in the 11th, but
I saw
Bryan.
I saw him falling. I'm not sure. You guys see Nelson Aguilar was one of my targets, and I'm not sure what round he was taken. And there's a couple people like Michael Gallup and John Ross. Those were late guys I was looking at. But then seeing DJ Moore was still there, and I kept pushing. I was like, I think he's going to be the next round. And in the 11th round, I was like, it's time. So,
yeah, I wasn't high on the John Ross pick, but I did like the Michael Gallup pick. I think at some point in the season, he's going to be a pretty good value.
I'm predicting 8 to 12 touchdowns for him. I think he's going to be targeted a lot. And Zeke's looking. I like Dak and Zeke this year, and Michael Gallup's going to be that target. I think he's solid.
They need a number 1.
Yep.
Somebody's got to step up. And
you can't leave Cole Beasley. He's a good slot guy. So I think Michael Gallup's going to show us his value.
Mm-hmm. One that's sticking out to me is Jeremy Hill in round 10. I did not like that pick.
Yeah, I think everyone was a little shocked. I think that's just because he is a Bengals fan. He's on New England now, just so you know, Jeff. But
it's just they have 80 running backs: Burkhead, Sony Michel, James White.
You don't hear anything about Jeremy Hill. I'm surprised he's not coming.
I was avoiding them completely.
Yeah.
So I think
he's not going to. And then they have Gillisley still.
Yeah. The only one I was really
they actually did cut Gillisley.
Oh, they did?
Yeah, he's with the Saints now.
Oh. Hold on, guys. I gotta get later.
But, yeah. The only New England running back I was willing to take was Sony Michel. Because I think he'll be given more work than the others.
That was a good pick.
They don't normally take running backs in the first, so you have to believe that New England's going to use Michelle pretty heavily with James White. I would imagine he still gets a lot of touches, but
next thing that's Patrick Mahomes. I mean, he's going to be amazing. He's going to be bad. So there's not much to talk about there. But I like the value of both tight ends at the end, Jordan Reed and Jack Doyle in the 11th round. Jack Doyle is showing he's a target machine. He's picked it up over the years. I really like him as a target of mine. And Jordan Reed, he had his second ankle injury. And from what I've seen a lot of players in the past, when they get that second foot ankle injury surgery, they tend to be fully healed and they come back stronger. And with Alex Smith there and Adrian Peterson, people have to pay attention to him. He's a Hall of Famer, so he still knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
The offensive line's not bad. I think Jordan Reed's going to have a monster year.
You just got to stay healthy.
Stay healthy. That's been his thing his entire career.
If he can stay healthy for 12 or 13 games for you, it's an incredible value.
Yeah. If he can stay healthy, I think he's a top 3 tight end.
I've been saying that every year.
It's
crazy.
This is the year.
He just can't stay healthy, and it's unfortunate.
Got to turn it around eventually, boys. That's right.
I think the value of the whole draft is the next pick, the first pick, the 12th round. I think James Conner.
Yeah. It's shaping up that way, isn't it?
It's shaping up that way.
Bell didn't show up to practice today.
He's still not reporting.
I know at least 2 or 3 of the people that were wanting him, and we all thought we could wait a little bit longer, but we can't. You can't do it with Josh. It's like he goes for Jacksonville. He takes him back. He wants him. He takes him. So James Conner in 12. I think that's a huge, huge steal. I think even if Bell's back, he's just so good. He's gonna
Especially if he holds out.
Yeah. So if not, that's a couple weeks to start the season. Like we talked about earlier, it's all about week by week.
Yeah.
I think that's a huge value.
Staying in the 12th round, I really like the pick of Mike Williams from Josh Durham. I think he has a chance to really solidify himself as the number 2 receiver to complement Keenan Allen. He had a couple nice catches in the preseason, one for a touchdown that I thought was really solid. But yeah, I think another player who can stay healthy, he can really
in the
valuable.
draft, I was targeting him as well. Solid, but the news broke out that Gates signed back.
Oh, yeah.
So you know that's going to take a few touchdowns away from Mike Williams.
That's the tough thing, too, because that's what Gates does best, but that's also what Mike Williams does best, because Williams is just a big body guy that just goes
really
up and
physical.
gets it. Very physical.
You never know though. Gates and Rivers just have that connection, and he's going to look his way. He's going to, no matter what they say, he's going to hike the ball and he's going to look at Gates
Immediately.
So I think that takes a handful of touchdowns or at least targets in the red zone away from Mike Williams. But still in the 12th round, you can't pass that up.
Yeah, he can still do that big play stuff too, though. It's not like he's a one-trick pony. He's no James Jones, that's for sure. But somewhere in between there and your next big playmaker, that's where Mike Williams is at, and he can find a nice little niche there in LA.
End of the round, Carson Wentz, if he comes back
Oh, I want to talk about the Chase Edmonds pick
okay.
in the 12th round. I didn't even expect him to get drafted, to be honest.
Yeah,
That was surprising to me.
I was hoping to get Zeke in the first round, and I was going to pick Chase Edmonds in the 15th. But to see him go in the 12th, I think that's more of a Kyle and I were talking a little bit, so maybe he's just trying to stick it to me. O'Brien has DJ.
Yeah.
So,
He's going to hold it over your head later.
I'm going to take his handcuff.
I did not expect that at all.
I think if DJ goes down, the team's looking up if Bradford stayed healthy. But
They'll be bringing back Chris Johnson if DJ goes down. Let's just.
Why not? It worked.
Yeah, that's right.
That was different. But Carson Wentz and Bilal Powell, I think, are good values in the end of the 12th, especially Carson Wentz. And then it's a bunch of kickers and defenses. Anything noticeable at the end besides kickers and Ds?
No, I mean, Dez got taken on a flyer. I'm hoping that he will sign somewhere. And that's about it. Most of the rest of the stuff was just defense and kickers in those last 2 rounds. So nothing too, nothing too exciting. George Kittle in the 13th is pretty good.
Kenny Galladay in the 14th.
Yeah, those are both two guys that are going to see some production for sure in their respective situations. Other than that, it's pretty much a typical end of the draft. But not too bad.
Kyle's run on the Chicago Bears in the last
3 or 4 receivers. Kevin White, if he would have taken Kevin White in the 15th,
I would have walked out.
So I think it went well overall.
Yeah, not too bad. I'd say a pretty good draft. I was a little bit surprised to see Alex Smith not get taken.
That's one.
I was targeting him and Tyrod, but Aaron Rodgers in the 5th, I have taken.
Another few notables: Jimmy Garoppolo, Matt Ryan.
Quarterbacks. I mean, 12-team league, 1 quarterback spot.
Yeah. Everyone is high on Barkley. Everyone's high on Odell, Ingram, Shepard, but no one's high on Eli Manning.
Somebody's got to get him the ball.
So I think that he's a quarterback. If anyone's willing to change their roster, maybe drop whoever they take. Andy Webb doesn't pan out. Ben Roethlisberger gets hurt or something like that. Eli Manning's someone to look at.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, agreed. I was in a draft where they have an offensive player position, so you can stick any offensive player there.
Nice.
And most people in that league will do quarterbacks. My 2 quarterbacks that I took were Eli and Alex Smith. So, I mean, 2 guys that are very draftable, very usable in fantasy, but offensive, well, especially with Alex Smith, his entire career just overlooked completely.
Let's see.
So within about an hour of this being posted, Alex Smith will no longer be a free agent. Somebody will listen and get nervous and take him.
Yep.
So not
and just
bad.
for a fun fact, Alex Smith does play much better in the start of the season when it's warm. So
just remember that New England game last year.
Yeah, take him.
It went nuts.
Should have seen that one coming. Well, that's all for the draft. I mean, as far as league news goes, we have to talk about that. Freaking Khalil Mack, dude. We can't have a podcast before the season without talking about Khalil.
Yeah,
it's nuts.
I don't know what to say. It's just
if I were the Raiders, I would have kept it.
Wouldn't have?
No, would have.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Would have.
They're getting. I think I heard that they're getting 2 first-round picks and maybe some backup players or some money or something.
I think there's more picks. There was I think a 2020 second-round pick or something was involved as well. So
I was expecting another player to be involved, but it was just picks. I don't remember which picks exactly.
I think the way the Bears want to play, they have a unorthodox offense. They have a really good running back, Jordan Howard. I think could be a top 5 running back, especially in half-point PPR. Trubisky, if he shows us what he can do, they can control the ball. They run it with that defense now. It was looking good, but now with Khalil Mack, it's looking good.
Yeah. So the Bears gave up.
Was already scary.
Yeah, they had a quietly good defense, and now with Roquan Smith and Khalil Mack, that's some dangerous stuff.
They have a good defense.
So the Bears gave up 2 first-round picks. So it was 2019 and 2020, and then a 3rd in 2020 and a 6th in 2019. So
they're going to go out and they're going to sign Earl Thomas. Defense.
That was another one I was surprised that did not happen was Earl Thomas. I thought for sure he would be a Cowboy to start the season.
I did too.
But apparently Seattle is holding strong and they're not going to trade him for whatever reason. I don't know.
I'm pretty sure Earl Thomas wants to be traded.
Yeah. I would think so.
Yeah.
Still not showing up.
All his buddies, the Legion of Boom, are now gone. So.
I don't think. Yeah, and it's probably the same situation that Mac was in as well. I mean, you just don't want to be there.
Yeah.
Why keep him around?
If you keep him there, you're probably not going to get 100% effort out of that player.
Yeah.
So you're just doing yourself
disservice.
Yeah.
Same thing with Bell.
Yeah.
Why keep him? We all know he's not going to be a Steeler next year.
I wouldn't be shocked if he was traded soon.
Yeah, just trade him.
James Conner looks good.
That's why they took him.
Yeah. And when you have such good receivers around you, James Washington, who was not drafted, he's a free agent right now for us. And Schuster, or whatever. They just look really good. And they beat.
I don't know who that is.
That he does report to practice sometime soon. If not, Josh Jones really going to struggle with his fantasy team.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. speaking of a roster, let's talk about all rosters. Is there any team that sticks out to you as in your favorite team or your least favorite, or you think is going to struggle, something along those lines? I can start it while you guys look.
Let me pull up my handy dandy team by team.
I think I know we kind of dragged him for it earlier. If Devin didn't do the Jamal Williams pick in the third round, I think his team would be the best overall. So I would say, besides Jamal Williams, his team's pretty good.
I would have liked to see him, like we talked about, taking Stephon Diggs for Tyreek Hill over Demarius. There's a lot more upside.
Yeah.
His team would have looked a lot different, that's for sure.
But I would say, excuse me, Devin's probably I put him at the top as my favorite team besides my own.
I'm gonna go with Dan's team.
He was another one for me too. I like
he shows up. That Chargers look really good this year. Tyreek Hill, that explosive offense could be good. Chris Hogan's possibly the number one. People are going to double team Gronk. Not that it makes a difference, but Hogan's going to produce at least for the first month. Cook Kamara is an amazing combo. I feel like Dalvin Cook could compete for the rushing title this year as well. Delaney Walker is safe and being on loose. I don't like to take two players on the same team. Well, it's like a quarterback tight end, but both being pass catchers with a mobile quarterback, and they're both safe. I like it, but it's his bench that I like. Ty Montgomery, he could turn into a receiver, could stay running back. You never know, but having that roster with Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams stuff, I think is good. He has Cobb, so you can pick and choose. But Sanders was my favorite pick, one of my favorite picks of the draft. I think he had him in the 6th round. And like we talked, he has a good rapport with Keenum. So I just like his team overall. I feel like he has some of the best depth. Tom? I'm still pondering.
Still pondering. I don't know. Yeah, it looks a lot. The teams are pretty balanced. I mean, for the most part.
Any team that you feel is drafted poorly or a little less than others, a little worse than others?
Well, I think when you take a look at how they drafted, I mean, I think Juice's team is really strong at receiver, and because of that, his running backs are very weak.
It could be good, could be bad.
Could be good or could be bad. And I think Peyton Barber has some solid upside. I've never really truly been a fan of Lamar Miller, but the Texans are going to score points. That's all you want.
He produced last year when Deshaun Watson was there, so
yeah.
We don't have a lot to look at there.
Yeah, but you can't really go wrong with Brady, Beckham, and Michael Thomas.
And then he has James Conner, like we discussed.
And James Conner, yeah. So that's pretty solid. Best defense in Jacksonville. I'm curious why he's sitting Odell despite them playing Jacksonville week one, but, we still have a few days.
Wait, he has Odell?
Yeah.
He doesn't have Odell in the starting lineup?
No.
Kyle scares me just because of his depth. He just had a lot of Bears players at the end. Austin Eckler, Chase Edmonds.
Yeah, he'll have to pay attention to the waiver wire for sure.
And he's always done that. He gets teams that we question, and then he finds a way to...
Always makes the playoffs.
Yeah.
Just how it goes.
I definitely do not agree with Odell Beckham on the bench. He's one of those every week must start players.
If you're gonna draft somebody in the first round, they should be in the starting lineup every
Who
time.
said him? Josh Jones?
Yeah, he has Odell on his bench currently.
He does have Jacksonville's defense, but yeah, I'd play him. I would sit Peyton Barber against the Saints, unless James Conner doesn't. If James Conner doesn't play, then just put him in overhand. But I'm sure he knows what he's doing.
Yeah, we still got plenty of time for people to adjust the lineups.
He was top 2 last year, so.
True. I mean, I did win the consolation championship game, but
that's easy money.
That's right.
I did get 4th place, as I usually do. So
as is tradition.
I had 2 ones. I'm sorry.
Back to back.
Let's go.
Yeah, but overall, besides from Odell benching, I think overall Josh's team is pretty good. But I think with the value that he has at receiver, his running backs could hurt him.
Devin's got really good running backs. I mean, starting the 1-2 punch of Gurley and Freeman's solid.
I think the team to watch. Everyone has what they want. Like Dylan has the receivers. Certain teams have quarterbacks or running backs. The team to watch, I feel, is Josh Durham because he's either going to be really good or really bad. The Bell situation scares me. The Josh Gordon situation scares me. Thielen possibly has an ankle injury, but I think he's okay. Burkhead as well. You don't know the backfield situation. Eric Ebron is on a new team with Jack Doyle there. The two tight end sets, who knows? Matthew Stafford and Jordan Howard are safe. His bench is not bad. Portman, Marshawn. But it's a matter of there's a lot of upside. If Bell handles the situation, if Josh Gordon handles his, Burkhead, they've talked about being a goal line back. He's really talented. His team could absolutely destroy, or it could just fall off. We have to wait and see.
Yeah, it's hard to pick out a true winner or loser really this early, just because everything's it's all on paper right now.
Exactly.
It's not. No one's played a game yet, so we'll see on Thursday. But
I think this is one of the best tracks we've had.
I would have to agree.
Yeah.
In terms of like not having a clear cut runaway favorite.
You could eliminate 3-4 teams probably in your mind, at least like to start the season. You think, oh, these guys, unless they make good moves or good trades, they're done. But right now, I can't pinpoint it. I'm reaching when I'm saying things about Josh Durham. You're talking about running backs being weak for Josh Jones, but we're reaching.
Yeah, it's like trying to nitpick something that's trying to make a negative, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, not too bad.
So, we do it every year. If you guys had to pick a title game right now,
Jesus.
who would you pick?
Can you pick yourself?
You can, yeah, if you want.
Excluding me. We didn't talk about Tom's team. I'm in love with Tom's team.
Probably because you shouldn't ever talk about my team. Because it's terrible.
I'm going to go with Tom versus Dan. I just feel like they have a lot of depth. Julian, come back.
I like Tom's team.
Yeah, Nick Chubb, Jordan Reed, we talked about.
The only thing I would have done differently, I wouldn't have taken Derrick Henry around 3. I think I would have went receiver right there.
Okay.
Other than that, your team's solid.
I'm going to say that to my face a little bit.
I think if you didn't take him round 3, you'd have got snagged up.
Yeah.
Maybe by
Sure, I would have
with that turn.
But
I like the pick, so why don't you just get out of here?
I'm just waiting. I got to survive until Julian Edelman comes back. That's what I keep saying.
yep.
We'll see what happens then. But
Once he comes back, he'll be good, barring any injuries.
there will be injuries. There always are.
If there is any Buffalo player that's going to produce, it's going to be Benjamin because he's going to get targets on targets on targets.
Yeah, and Peterman loved him.
Exactly.
I did watch that Panthers
I don't want to talk
demolition.
about that. We won that game. I just want to point that out. But got Kelvin destroyed us.
I have Tom versus Dan.
Tom versus Dan. Okay. I'm still thinking on mine. In the meantime, let's talk about Bryan's team.
Oh my.
I love Royce Freeman.
Mm-hmm.
But stole him right out from underneath me.
Yeah, given his rising ADP and how our draft was falling, Royce Freeman was a good pick in the 3rd. At first, I was kind of shocked at Kenyon Drake in the 2nd. I thought that was a bit of a reach. But, yeah, like we've been harping on it this whole show, the running back position went crazy early in our draft, so it was good to stack up on them while you could. I think receivers, Cooper Kupp as your 2 could hurt you.
I do have DJ Moore.
You have DJ Moore, and I love that pick. That was incredible value. I think eventually DJ Moore could slide into your lineup every week.
After I slide into the
That's right. That's right.
But yeah, in addition to DJ Moore, I love Aaron Rodgers in the 5th. Got the best quarterback in the league. I love Trey Burton this year. overall, you have a pretty solid lineup. The only thing is the receivers could cost you.
There's so many receivers. I feel like I could stream. I'll find somebody to stream.
And if not, you can always trade me David Johnson.
I'm good.
I'm considering it. Oh.
All right, now that we got that out of the way.
I'd settle for Freeman.
Dylan? Okay. Who are you thinking for the title game? We'll have a long, awkward talk again about Dylan's team. Not much to talk about.
My team's trash. Skip over. I'm still deciding. I got one locked in. I'm deciding on the other.
Who's the one?
Dan.
Everybody loves Dan this year.
We did the same thing last year.
I agree with Dan. I picked Dan in last year's title game, too.
Yeah, I believe I did. Him and Jordan Young.
I picked Dan and Josh Jones, I believe.
Yep.
Nice. So you guys both got somebody. I can't remember who I picked. So
yeah.
I don't have as good of a memory.
I'm going to go Dan and Devin.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll go Dan and Devin.
Can't go wrong.
I like that. I think I, too, am going to say Dan.
I like it.
And then, I don't know, you got to like what Devin did. You're right.
Yeah.
And outside of the third-round pick, I think he has a good team.
Mm-hmm.
So, at one, no matter what happens, according to that, we would have a new champion.
Yep.
So,
all for a new champion every year.
We can finish it out with a runner-up. Who do you think, if one of those two don't make it, who do you think?
I mean, I like Dylan's team. It's pretty solid.
Yeah.
Yeah, why?
I would throw in Devin as well. Tom, Devin, and Dan. But it's not by far. There's a lot of good teams.
It's true. I don't know. It's good times. We'll see when the injuries happen, but
I think if Alvin Morris takes off and Andrew Luck can stay healthy, I like Chris's team. If Andrew Luck doesn't stay healthy through the whole year, Carson Wentz coming back eventually. So that was good value picking him up.
yeah, you got to cover your bases there. 'Cause Wentz probably won't be activated until like 5 or 6, maybe.
Yeah. So I think Chris is a runner-up. If not runner-up, I think he's a lock to make the playoffs.
Yeah.
Can't believe football's back. It's nice.
It is. Thursday night. It's officially back.
That's right.
Speaking of Thursday night, who do you guys think is going to win between the Eagles and the Falcons? Falcons.
Ooh, the Falcons, really?
I think Falcons.
Man, that's tough. I know the Eagles defending home turf after a Super Bowl win.
Alshon Jeffrey's hurt. Trey Burton's gone. He's a big part of it.
No Wentz.
No wins.
Defense got butchered a little bit.
Foles looked like he struggled in the
He was
preseason.
questionable to play, but I believe he is.
He got named the starter today.
I think it's going to be the Corey Clement show, but I think that the Falcons are going to win. People sleep on the Falcons' defense.
They're not bad.
They think they're going to go.
I think another year of development with Sarkisian as the offensive coordinator. I think we're going to start to see some improvement from last year with the Falcons offense.
Nice.
And not to mention last year, everyone expected the Patriots just to steamroll the Chiefs. The exact opposite happened.
That's right.
On their home turf, they embarrassed them. So I don't think it'll be an embarrassment per se, but I'm confident that the Falcons will beat the Eagles.
Yeah, I think I trust the Falcons a little bit. Just a little bit more than I do the Eagles.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Coming out party for Calvin Ridley, hopefully.
Yeah. The Falcons have their number one quarterback and number one receiver healthy. The Eagles don't. So that's what I'm going with.
Isn't that weird to say that the Eagles don't have their number one quarterback healthy when he's the Super Bowl MVP?
I know, right?
That's nuts.
Yeah.
That's all right. But yeah, all the games are back. It's week 1.
And Eagles lost their offensive coordinator, head coach of the Colts now.
That always hurts teams. They're switching.
So unanimous?
I think it's
Unanimous?
unanimous. Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
Did we all call the Patriots last year?
Nope. Oh, wait, yeah, we did. I think we did.
Great. So that means the Eagles are going to win. And a
I
blowout.
feel like I was calling the Chiefs, but I thought it wrong.
Maybe.
I did have Kareem Hunt when we were doing the podcast. So.
I do vaguely remember saying that Dwayne Allen was going to catch the first touchdown.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And almost apt to. I believe he got one that ricocheted off his hands. So
Yeah. I think I said Gronk was going to be like the MVP of that game.
yeah. So MVP of the Falcons and Eagles game. You already said Corey Clement a little bit.
I'm going to...
Who do we think is going to be the MVP of it?
You know, I'm not going to say MVP, but last year we saw an explosion with Kareem Hunt. I'm going to choose another rookie in this game. I'm going to say Calvin Ridley is going to have himself a game.
I think
like
it's going to be the Falcons. Being the Falcons, everyone's going to get the ball. I think it's the Falcons defense that's going to win this game. It's going to control everything. They got to run some smash mouth football.
I like it.
I'm going to call a 21-10 win.
Okay. I'm going to give the game ball to Julio Jones. I feel like this is a good opportunity for them to finally establish him as a touchdown guy.
Mm-hmm. I will not be mad if Julio Jones has a good game on Thursday.
It has to happen eventually because for whatever reason they just do not throw him the ball when it matters. But Julio, 2 TDs, 15 catches.
We'll go with 9 catches.
Yeah, let's go with like 8 catches, probably 76 yards and 2 TDs or something like that.
Yeah,
But Julio's finally going to turn the corner this
I'm
year.
going to say 276 yards.
I'm going to say actually he's going to set the all-time record for games for a career, yards for a career.
Yeah.
In that one game. So he's going to have like 15,000 yards.
I think they're using right away.
He's down on the one every play and just chuck it to him.
I believe that's going to happen. He's going to be used quickly. He's going to get 2 touchdowns in the first half, and then it's going to be coasting.
Yeah. I like it. And then ride Freeman and Coleman the rest of the way. I don't know, pretty solid. Good first episode.
Well, it's a long one. Let's finish it off strong. We don't need analysis or anything. Just who do you think's going to win the Super Bowl?
Okay.
Man.
Jesus. I mean, we do have
I'll start it.
we have 2 minutes left until it's an hour, so
Okay. I think Aaron Rodgers is going to carry the Green Bay Packers up there. I think this is the year he's going to have. He always comes back strong after his injuries. And then, surprisingly, I think I told Dylan this, I think it's going to be the Chargers.
okay.
AFC.
I've heard some analysts say that the
Really?
Chargers are going to be a team to watch
I've
this
heard a
year.
lot of Jacksonville, and it's hard to argue that, but
As long as they have Blake Bortles as a quarterback, Jacksonville's not a pick for me.
I'm going to say Saints and Chargers.
You know, I have heard a lot of analysts say that the Chargers are going to be in the Super Bowl.
and as of last year, I heard a lot of analysts said the Saints were going to make the Super Bowl. Oh, hey, what happened? Miracle?
Oh,
I
man.
have a Viking shirt on, I'm waving in the air.
It's tough. It's tough to pick a Super Bowl.
The Patriots are all.
What's on the
will
tip,
always
of,
be up
the tip
there.
of the tongue? Patriots will not win double-digit games this year, Bowl.
Bold prediction for that one.
Wow.
Man. I don't think it's going to be one of the traditional teams. I don't think the Patriots make it back this year somehow. I don't think that the Packers make it. I don't think that we see the Eagles or Falcons back. It's tough, but I'm going to have to say that we're going to see the LA Rams. I like what they're doing.
The Rams.
If they can somehow control the star power on that defense, the Rams are going to be really hard to beat with the number 1 scoring offense, young quarterback. They've stacked that team with stars. And then from the AFC side, I think I have to give it to the Texans.
Texans.
I think so.
I love that.
I think I have to give it to the Texans. I really like what they're doing. They have, I know it might seem bold or stupid, but they're getting all of their defensive players back this year from last year. everybody's healthy. They added Honey Badger to the defense. They're getting Watson. They still have Nuke. They have a good team.
Mhm.
They're the team that can go to New England and win.
Yeah.
I was going to say,
Playing week 1.
Yeah.
with seeing New England, I really think that they're going to fall off this year. I just think it's time for Tom Brady. He's just not going to produce, and they're just too many players. I can see that, the Texans.
As long as, like you said, as long as everyone stays healthy, they're going to be a very hard team to beat.
That's a big what if, especially on the defense side of the ball.
They do have some aging stars on the defense, but with Clowney and Merciless and Watt and Tyrann Mathieu, they are pretty stacked on that side of the ball.
I see them in the wild card spot, so they could have a run.
Yeah.
I could see that happening.
I think they definitely make the playoffs.
AFC South's going to be tough this year.
Okay.
But for sure they can do it. I don't know. I like it. So I'm going to go with the Chargers and Saints. No.
Okay.
No, yeah. Texans and Rams, I think, is a good pick. It's two teams that haven't been there. Well, the Rams, it's been a while, but.
Okay. I'm going to say Chargers, Patriots, AFC title game, and Saints and Rams, AFC title game. Until I see any kind of slowing down from Tom Brady, I'm not ruling the Patriots out.
We're doing the title games. I'm going to go Packers, Vikings, and then Chargers, Texans. So I think the Chargers take it.
Nice. I like it. I agree with the Vikings pick on the NFC side. So Vikings, Rams, and then you got. It's gonna be something. Probably Texans, Pats again. I'd like to see that actually.
Cool.
Get them for the second time in a year.
That'd be cool.
Get them in Foxborough.
All day.
This is writing itself.
It is.
Yeah.
I hope so.
It sucks, but you have to pick the Patriots. And as long as they have Tom Brady, it's hard not to.
Yeah.
But their time is coming.
Mm-hmm.
Today. They've traded all their backup quarterbacks.
Tom Brady's gone.
I don't know. Well, that's an hour and 2 minutes. We've wasted enough of people's time.
All right.
So we got 5 more weeks of this before we stop doing it because we get bored again.
We'll change it up. Talk about some other things.
If anyone has any suggestions, let us know with the comments and
Subscribe.
and
Let us know if we sound like idiots.
Yep. That has been all for us here today, so tune in to the next one.